Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Ahoy.
It's so nice to have you all here. And no Jack today, which is always a treat. So, what's going on, everyone?
It's a regular day.
We are recording this on New Year's Eve. I'm not a big New Year's Eve guy, personally. I don't understand the fascination, but do any of you have plans?
Nope, this is it.
Yeah, my neighbors are getting together for a thing.
Oh man, no, I am going to go all out. I've got a costume, I've got a crown, I'm gonna go into town, I'm gonna make some new friends, I'm going to set up some fireworks, definitely not get arrested. It's gonna be awesome.
What kind of costume do you wear on New Year's Eve?
Christopher Columbus costume.
Nice.
It's always like themed based on the new year and what I want the new year to be, and not necessarily what is gonna actually happen. You know, so like 2020, you know, I was like, oh man, let's bring back the 2020s or 1920s, and you know, brought in another plague. Whoops. So this was just gonna be a bunch of fours, sort of like the Riddler, but instead of question marks, but you know, a bunch of fours everywhere, all over my shirt. I'm just gonna like hand draw them onto my shirt and my pants. It's gonna be a hit. It's gonna look great.
So people are going to think you're hoping for the number 4 next year?
Yeah.
We will
Nice.
encounter some fours, I think.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that one's a pretty good prediction. So I got it in the bag.
Could be. Be ironic if we don't come across any 4s all next year. My neighbors are doing an ugly dress contest, which I'm not sure if it means like you dress ugly or if you literally have to wear a dress that is ugly.
I think you need to put a dress on.
Could be I may have to go shopping.
Yeah,
And
you need to get hot. Let's go.
But the party is like till 10 o'clock, which doesn't make sense to me for a New Year's party.
Yeah, that
I
doesn't.
don't know.
I don't get that.
It's kind of weird to me.
It's for like old people. Like that's the ideal party for me most times. Like I want to
Really?
be in bed by 8 p.m.
But I
So-
don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say that actually meets with my own sensibilities. It's my kind of New Year's party.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
I
I'm
don't know.
still so much younger than you guys that I can stay up late one day out of the year.
Pass.
It's not worth it.
My goal is to be asleep before any of the balls drop in any of the time zones, which means that I need to go to sleep like
Now.
yeah.
Yeah, we always showed the kids I'm Chicago area, but we'd always show the kids the New York one an hour early so that we all get to bed earlier. Sadly, I have bought them watches in the recent past, so it's not working anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, you could still change them while they're asleep.
Yeah, just change all the watches,
Move them back,
Yeah.
good idea.
Plus, it'll mean they're, like, early to everything.
which is great. I used to do
Yeah.
that to my mom. She was late to everything, so I changed all the clocks. Everywhere. Including her office. I'd only worked for a little bit.
I think the technique is if you want things to start on time, you just tell everyone that they start earlier than they do.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, we're gonna, whatever. Let's say you're playing your TTRPG session. Like, hey, if you really want it to start at 6 p.m., you're like, hey guys, we should be starting around 5. That way, when people show up at 5:45, they're actually early.
I do
I
have
think
one
that's the
friend
only way.
that I always tell, whatever we're doing, I tell him specifically that we're starting an hour earlier because he's about 45 minutes late to everything.
And then I have one friend that always shows up early, so you have to roll the time back for them. Otherwise, they'll be there like an hour too soon.
Yeah, I've met so many people in my adult life that seem like they're really bad at figuring out how long it's going to take them to like get somewhere. So it'd be so dumb. It's like we know that it's going to take us an hour to get somewhere, and it's like 15 minutes before the event and they're still not ready, and they're like, no, we got time. Which, again, different situations call for different levels of punctuality. There are some things it's like okay to show up late for. I think everyone draws that line in a slightly different spot, but it still confuses me. I'm a show up early kind of guy, so
I'm a show up early person, but then I feel really bad about like surprising them when they clearly don't want me there that early, and so I just sit in my car and hang out and read a book.
yeah, that's similar to my technique. I've been doing that since I was able to drive, like as a kid. Show up early, read a book, but I feel like, I don't know, I always learned that if you're going to like some sort of house party or something, you can show up, kind of whenever. But outside of context like that, it's usually if someone says something is starting at a certain time, then that is the absolute latest you should show up.
Kind of whenever, but in the after it starts, not before. People don't appreciate when you show up an hour early, unless it's like your best friend.
And there's some things where it's better if people trickle in.
Yeah. I say this as if I'm like this like very social party person, and I'm not. So maybe I'm not really the best person to give, very specific, detailed advice on this.
Well, I have so many other negative qualities that I like to capitalize on, like the easy ones, like punctuality.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Take the win. Good call.
Yeah. You gotta work with what you have.
Yeah, you show up early, it kind of makes sense why you're not wearing pants. It's like I rushed right over here.
Right, it's like, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
I mean, I can only be so prepared if I have to get here this early.
But then you have to leave and go get the pants, and then you're late, and then it's a whole thing.
I bet I could do a full day at work without pants.
What?
And no one noticed if I was strategic about it. Like, I bet if I got there early and sat down at my desk and then made excuses for like why I couldn't leave my office to go to particular meetings, I bet I could do it.
So you don't get up to use the bathroom the whole time you're at work?
Well, I would obviously have to not use the bathroom on that day or like bring a bottle.
Yeah, catheter, something like that.
But I think I could pull it off. I couldn't do it for like multiple days.
But I guess it depends on the day of the week as well.
Yes. Yeah, like if it's like a Friday or something where it's pretty slow,
Easy.
it would be easier.
I can pull that off. I run around way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always in the line of sight of half my building.
But I like this for you, and I think you should definitely try it. It will not backfire.
Well, I mean, I think people will really respect me if I pull it off. Like, after the fact, if I'm like, hey, that day where, like, you kept trying to get me to come help you with something and I kept making weird excuses not to? It's because I wasn't wearing any pants. I didn't wear any pants all day.
Yeah, and then for the next year, all your coworkers are going to be moving behind your desk just to check to see if you put on pants that day.
What are you doing back here?
That's-
Yeah. All right, well, I'll let you guys know next week how that goes.
Good.
Yeah, this actually sounds more interesting than your game.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm kind of rethinking what the scenario is going to be now.
Yeah. Wow. That could work, the no pants.
It's just going to be me
know.
role-playing all of your coworkers and you role-playing yourself trying to survive a day without pants.
Right. No,
Yeah,
keep
just
him
be
keep him mothership. But like
It'll be
all
in
your
space.
all your pants are in the laundry.
Yeah.
Aliens attack. What are you gonna do?
Die. I'm just gonna let myself die. It's over.
Or yeah, maybe I'll just I'll go on like drive through RPG and just buy every mothership scenario I can find, and that's the only modification I make. Like, all of you guys don't have pants on and had to deal with the awkwardness of not having pants.
Then
And that's
re-upload them and
just
sell
what the
them.
podcast becomes about. And it's not funny. It's annoying after like 10 minutes, but we do it for episode after episode.
Yeah, but with a niche like that, you're gonna get a core of dedicated hardcore followers.
You think so?
I'm on board.
It's gonna really boost our listener numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I've been looking for that secret formula, and maybe this is it. Maybe just one tired joke that wasn't that great to begin with, repeated hundreds or thousands of times.
Oh, you're gonna do that again?
Yeah.
My favorite.
This Table Talk's weak, guys. You gotta sling some topics out here.
I didn't come prepared for table talk.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't
Somebody-
come prepared for mothership, as you can note by my lack of
Well,
programming.
In fairness, none of us did.
What are the typical tabletop talk topics?
We usually talk about like current political issues.
Okay.
And spiders that give erections.
Yeah.
Wow. I need to listen to this.
What else?
That's way more interesting than
I
no
have
pants.
been reading in the news that there's some kind of big, some sort of large spider that's like an invasive species in North America that people are concerned about. I didn't actually click on the article though, so I can't really say anything about it beyond that.
Nice.
Thoughts?
I know. I read a article. It could be the same spider, different spider, but supposedly there's an invasive spider East Coast that's moving north, and I should expect to maybe see them this year.
I mean, do you think there are two different invasive spiders, and these articles are unrelated?
I'm sure there's a bunch, but there's probably one most. I have no idea.
It jumped from that grocery store overseas in Europe.
From the banana crate.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now it's here. So get ready.
The one I read was about I think it's a parachute spider.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay,
What?
where it will make a web. It will fly around using its web like a parachute, and it's
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They're coming from the air now.
very brightly colored and very very cool looking. I don't know if that like detracts other animals from eating them as like a, but I don't know what the big deal is. I guess in terms of unless spiders are eating something other than regular bugs or eating too many bugs or something. But
It's a flying spider. It's
well,
definitely
yeah, that's
gonna kill us.
that's an issue.
That
But
sounds way more terrifying than Mothership, honestly.
yeah, and it looks like they get kind of big too. So
Oh my god.
not what you want.
I already can't handle wolf spiders when they get big.
Oh yeah, these things are huge.
No, Jesus.
Well, maybe we'll
Bright
change the
yellow.
scenario today. Yeah, and it'll be
Yeah.
you guys are
Snake spiders.
parents that are like in the backyard trying to set up a swing set for your kids, and a parachute spider blows in,
Yeah.
Ugh.
and
Okay.
then we'll roll initiative, and we'll just go.
I'm hyperventilating already.
Issuing a correction. They're Joro spiders, Joro, but they're described as parachuting spiders. And it looks. Here's a photo of the leg span will cover your entire palm.
Yeah, Jamie, pull that out.
Oh my god. This sounds like nightmare fuel.
Can you post that in the chat, please?
Yeah. Oh, this is too gross to look at.
Wow, they are colorful. Oh my gosh. They got like hazard markings on them. They're telling you that they're dangerous, straight up.
Does it say anything about erections? Like, what does it do to your erection if you get bitten by one? Oh yeah, these are
Good
cool
lord.
looking.
Holy fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I would literally
So-
have a heart attack if this thing came at me through the air.
Oh my god.
Something that's
It's
something
very
that's funny
EDF.
about something that's funny about Joro spiders in particular is that they are endemic to Southeast Asia. They're very common in Korea and Japan.
How do they deal with them?
They can't hurt you, so you don't.
Oh, that's
you just leave them
good.
be.
Except through fear.
So stop being afraid of them.
Yeah,
They,
it's a sheer terror.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is, recently, I think it was like within the last 10 years or so, they started appearing in the U.S. and the Southeast, in Georgia in particular, and then they started spreading out a bit from there. The funny thing about that is, I personally am very confident that American military members are the ones who brought them over, because Americans have a big presence in Korea and to a smaller extent Japan, where these things have been all the time. They also have a really big presence in Georgia, and there's a lot of travel between those two areas.
I knew we should have
So
pulled out
I'm-
of Japan.
I'm pretty confident that American like soldiers and Marines are responsible for bringing these things to America.
And it's one of those, like, I can 100% see that. And you're like, oh, guys, why'd you do
Yeah, but this is not the first time banana ships have brought weird insects over. I want to say a couple decades ago, something similar happened with beetles or something like that.
What happens if this spider finds that spider from the grocery store? They get together, and now it's ginormous.
Now it's
colorful, and
a
it gives you
lethal
erection.
flying spider that gives people erections. Lethal erections.
Then it would be really terrifying.
This sounds like a new intro to a spin on Lover in the Ice.
Mm.
Duncan,
Then
write
I-
that game.
Yeah. This is a Delta Green scenario. Wait, I'm scribbling furiously right now.
Yeah, how do you spell lethal erection?
Yeah.
I have a really hard time seeing like spider webs as I go hiking and everything, and so I run right into them all the time. And I just imagine like just cruising along, and all of a sudden like it hit one of the things, and then the spider like just swings out. And even though it can't harm me at that point, I'm like terrified, freaked out, and then I like trip, roll down the side of the mountain, and die.
Well, and imagine how terrified you would be though if you're hiking along, and then you realize you have an erection.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, the cool thing now is that you don't even have to be hiking through the woods. You could just be sitting on a bench at a park, and just a big army of these float down,
Right.
and land on you.
And I think
harmlessly.
they're like army ants, where they can just basically eat you down to the bone.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you would like deal with like 6 of these coming at you from different angles.
Shotgun.
Man.
I would do it like what's the movie with Catherine Zeta-Jones and
Zorro.
where she's
The Mummy?
like moving through the laser field.
Oh yeah.
Resident Evil.
No,
No.
it's Sean
She's a
Connery,
spy.
right? Sean
Red
Connery's-
October.
But she's like a thief. She's a master thief, and she's trying to steal something that's protected by all these lasers, and so she's
Entrapment.
is
No,
it
that
Entrapment?
Ocean's
That
12.
doesn't sound right.
No, it's not
No,
Ocean's 12, but I know what you're talking about.
Entrapment.
It's like
Entrapment.
Ocean's 12.
It's entrapment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
It would be like that, is what I'm saying. Can
And
can they shoot webs?
are you Catherine Zeta-Jones in this scenario?
I am. Yeah. I need if we could develop and bring to market some laser-based air defense system. So
Against
maybe it would
spiders.
just be like a baseball cap that we could sell that has it's got a battery pack in it and some kind of like a small radar and a laser on it that will shoot these spiders down as they descend upon you.
No.
Wait, this is on a baseball hat?
This is like where the propeller would normally go on your baseball cap.
Uh-huh.
We would install this.
A laser
It would
array.
be a small radome. It would be a radome. With a swivel and a small laser on it, but not too small because it's got to get hot enough that it can kill one of these spiders.
Are you going to have any programming to differentiate between one of these spiders floating
And, like,
around
birds.
and birds?
Children.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be safe and shoot everything that moves.
Yeah, maybe that's a setting that we can leave to the user. Is like, look,
Mm.
you can put this on bird safe, but
You could-
if
you
a
could click children and
bird-sized
dogs.
spider comes down, you will be defenseless.
Yeah. That's fair.
Cats.
I mean,
Right,
if a cat
if
is
a cat parachutes
fly-
down,
Yeah,
do-
shoot it.
They leap on you. I mean, they will
Yeah.
leap on you.
Yeah. I'd be concerned about hummingbirds. That's my concern.
Mm.
I don't want to shoot those guys down, and they're smaller than these spiders, I think.
Oh,
If
I
you
thought
have
you
a
meant you
radar-
wanted to shoot them because they're so fast.
Yeah, true.
if you get a radar strapped to your head, will you just get cancer like that day?
Yeah.
Look, slow cancer or fast flying spiders.
That's true. Yeah, pick your poison, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to slowly die of painful cancer or have spider erections your entire life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, plus they'll eat all your bananas.
It's a superfood, so we can't have that.
Is it a superfood?
Yes, it is.
Like kale?
Yeah.
Is there an official definition for superfood, or do we just say that about a lot of fruits?
That's a good question. I think there's like a checklist.
Really?
Let's go ahead and Google that. Superfood checklist.
There's probably a
Superfood
government
requirements.
bureaucracy somewhere on the Superfood Coalition.
I'm not seeing this immediately, so I think it's fake. I think you're making it up.
I think it's a hippie thing that people just pull out of their ass.
Rich in compounds.
Oh, in compounds.
It's
Kind of
PR from
compounds.
Big Banana.
Antioxidants, fiber, fatty acids. More than just
Okay.
like an apple that's just...
Ah,
Ooh, so
okay.
apple doesn't
Well,
make the cut?
According to
No way.
Wikipedia, superfood is a marketing term claimed to confer health benefits resulting from an exceptional nutrient density. The term is not commonly used by experts, dietitians, and nutrition scientists.
Yeah.
That does not negate anything
Yeah.
I said about bananas being a superfood.
Oh, hold on. In 2007, the marketing of products as superfoods was prohibited in the
Oh,
European
shit.
Union. So that being the case, I move
Wow.
to call all foods superfoods from now on.
Concur.
Is it food? No, it's a superfood.
Except for apples. Fuck apples.
Not apples and nothing with
Wait, why not
BPAs
apples?
or endocrine disruptors.
Not soy,
Not soy. No.
obviously.
No.
Or gluten.
Gluten's a
That's-
superfood.
No. It's the opposite. You gotta
Huh?
take it out. It's not good for you. You gotta take it out.
No.
Is-
Gluten is a superfood.
Yeah.
Is gluten
Yeah.
one that's good for you
And
or terrible
you can
for
tell
you?
by the kinds of people who refuse to tolerate it.
Okay.
I am either gluten free or gluten saturated. I'm not sure what my wife buys.
But
But
there's
I-
only
Well,
it's a binary. There's no
If,
middle
if your
ground.
food doesn't taste like shit, then you're probably gluten saturated.
Okay.
I don't know. I just had a gluten-free cookie yesterday that was actually delightful. Therefore, it's fine.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I
No.
don't believe that. I take that same cookie and just, if I came in with a syringe and just filled it with gluten,
I mean, my glutes are pretty huge,
And-
so I think
yeah.
that kind of points to one.
I have always imagined Roland as having large glutes.
The large is like not even close to the scale we're talking here.
Fat glutes.
All the glutes.
What's nice is in post, you guys can delete these uncomfortable silences.
I prefer to leave them in.
I prefer to extend them.
Yeah.
You know, in a game like this,
We
they build
put them where they
tension.
weren't originally. Yeah.
What they say next, I'm on the edge of my
Every-
seat.
After every joke Duncan tells, there's a inserted silence.
A long pause. Yeah. And then Shepard edits me and is telling it a second time.
As he waits for appreciation that never comes.
Maybe you guys don't get it.
And then
I
adds
have
a
yet to
sad-
start manipulating people's like portrayals like that because it's not really that much work, but it is enough work that I don't want to do it.
Yeah, you should definitely insert explaining the joke most of the time.
It's like community notes or something on Twitter.
Perfect. But it's audio that you can't cut out.
But I do think I imagine most podcasts are edited in such a way to make them more listenable, like more comfortable and seamless and less awkward. And I like the idea that maybe we go against the grain there, and you listen to it and you're just cringing the whole time. You're like, ugh. Like, I can't believe they put this out.
And I would like to also get an edit of one where a literal laugh track is inserted as well.
Yes.
Just so the listeners know when they should be laughing.
Because then I can really get lazy. And it could be like, I don't know, like just shitty sitcom level. You're like, what am I listening to? This isn't funny. It doesn't even make sense.
But then there's a laugh track, so it has to be funny. Somebody's laughing at it.
I've talked about doing that before, but once again, it's never felt like it's been worth it.
I only want to put a laugh track in if there are one or two like really uncomfortable laughers in the track, like somebody who's like has a really weird laugh.
Or at least maybe the laugh track would also be good for your monologue episodes. That are, your 6 hour episodes.
Yeah, where I just
Put
talk
that
about my
in there.
day.
Yeah.
That would be great for a like Seinfeld-esque mothership game where everyone's kind of annoying and you hate them, so it's kind of cool when they die and you still do the laugh track.
Well, I am going to incorporate some AI Seinfeld into this episode.
Ooh.
Wow.
Have you watched that?
AI Seinfeld? No.
Yeah. I can't
I
remember
don't-
what it's called.
I didn't even watch
Shepard
regular
probably
Seinfeld.
knows. Well, you don't need to now because there's, at least at some point, maybe this isn't still going, but it was an AI Seinfeld thing that was just going endlessly. And it was like an AI generated plot, AI generated dialogue. And it's, I gotta remember what it's called and post it, but it's funny because it's clearly catching on to a lot of like what makes Seinfeld. Like there will be like a stand-up bit before an episode starts, and then they'll be in Jerry's apartment and Kramer will walk in, and like it hits a lot of those points, but just what people are saying doesn't make any sense. And there's a laugh track, but the jokes, like, it doesn't really understand what makes jokes funny.
Perfect.
It's
kind
it's
of
pretty
hoping
great.
AI doesn't progress because the things it fucks up with are so amusing to me.
Well, the fingers thing has gotten better.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a little
remember when on all the art, everybody had like claws or like extra fingers or things like
8
that? That's gotten
fingers.
better.
Yeah. bit. Yeah, it's definitely got better. You still get the occasional weird thing though.
What I have seen people using it for that seems useful is if they're working on writing like a computer program, asking if they get stuck on something, getting ChatGPT to tell them how to do something in a particular language.
Mm.
Yeah, I had a buddy do that recently. He was working on a project using, I can't remember what, I was using Power BI. And there was some script that was throwing some error. And so he just put the block of code into ChatGPT and said, this is throwing this kind of error. How do I fix it? And it wasn't like immediately fruitful, but after a couple iterations, it was able to generate code that worked better. And then he used it. So it works.
I've also seen pictures of I think Chevy using AI like chat response. And so instead of like, you could just go to the Chevy website and there, say the chat box pops up. How may I help you? And you can ask it to write code, and it'll just like write code. Like instead of like a basic bot, they like bought OpenAI and
But they didn't put any Rails on it.
None. No. And where someone, got it to, anyway. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Chevy bot, what do you think about the Holocaust?
How would I hack Fort Knox, Chevy Bot?
That's great. I think the only time I have ever interacted with those like chat prompts was when I was trying to cancel subscriptions for things. Mm-hmm. Like stuff that you can't just unsubscribe to through your account or through email. You have to contact customer service to do, which is fucked up.
Yeah.
But
The real trick if you want to cancel things is you, instead of having like a PayPal or something like that never expires, you make sure that you put it all on credit cards, and then you let those credit cards expire and get new ones. So then that auto cancels all subscriptions.
No, the way to do it is to use PayPal, because you can manage your subscriptions through PayPal. So if you try to unsubscribe to something like through the account on that service and they give you a hard time, you just go into PayPal and turn off the recurring transaction.
Right.
And it's easier to do that usually than like through your bank or your credit card.
I know what I'm doing this afternoon.
Is that how I would cancel my reoccurring donation to Late Afternoon Gaming?
The Patreon?
No, because
No,
we
you're
have
not
a
allowed to
recurring
cancel.
wire transfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a timeshare. You'll never get out of that.
Oof. Okay. Yeah, but I get on one Late Afternoon Gaming podcast a year. So that's what I pay for.
I mean, what do you think we're doing right now?
That's your level
Exactly,
2.
this is it.
And since we're recording this straddling New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, this actually counts for both 2023 and 2024.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because contractually we're recording it now. We'll release it next year. So
Right.
Checkmate.
You guys are very clever financially. Explains how you managed to make it on your shoestring budget.
Well, no, it's because I've been doing I've been taking all kinds of different influencer courses.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, plus handies.
I've
in
been doing a lot
alley
of the
on
Andrew
side.
Tate stuff.
Yeah.
And so we're hustling right now.
Is that pimping? Is that what they call it?
But I think so. Maybe.
Okay.
I haven't actually seen any of it.
It's probably got some new Zoomer term.
Yeah, Jesse, you work with a lot of Zoomers. What do the Zoomers say about this?
Listen,
What do they call what we might have called hustling?
I have no fucking clue, okay? Everybody talks and all this like new stuff, and listen, I've got one person that I just send everything to, and I'm like, what the fuck are they saying? And they translate it for me and then send it back. But I'm smart enough to know that I cannot repeat whatever they said because, millennials trying to speak in Zoomer talk does not work.
We could just ask ChatGPT.
I'm pretty sure that Zoomers in particular specifically have no version of language that encompasses the term hustling.
Oh, actually, that's a great point. It's probably an alien concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, they reject that idea.
Yeah.
And you
No,
can't
I hadn't thought about
can't
that.
do something if you don't have a word for it. I like it.
I think it's securing the bag. Secure the bag.
Secure the bag.
Yeah.
Did you just ask ChatGPT?
No, I did a quick search, but yeah. Quote, I see you working a full-time job and side hustle. Secure the bag, sis. Slay.
I don't like that. That doesn't...
It sounds mildly erotic to me.
I mean, I followed the rest of what you said, but secure the bag just doesn't sound cool.
It sounds like it involves an erection spider.
Is this something about bread? Get that bread?
I mean, it sounds like an objective on like a Call of Duty mission.
Secure the bag.
It's
Or-
deliberately trying to confuse you. Okay? This is the point. So the more that we all get like upset and be like, what are they saying? We're like, haha, gotcha. Old
Yeah.
people.
Well, I mean, we know what they're saying because I'm going to publish my Zoomer glossary. It's for late afternoon gaming premium subscribers only.
Ooh, okay.
That's pretty
Nice.
cap.
Yeah, by making it premium, you will have no Zoomer audience because they can't afford that.
That's true. Yeah.
And by the way, before this turns into a broad scale Zoomer Bash Fest, I want to say that I believe Zoomers do have positive qualities of some sort.
Like what?
I
Name them.
have yet to derive any from my experiences, but
Youth.
I'm sure they're there. Yeah, the youth thing is
Passion.
always
Yeah.
positive.
They have great
Passion.
skin.
Very passionate about some things. That's good.
Wow.
I've heard they're based, which I
Oh,
think
another
means
term that I don't understand. Great.
I'd say their passion is a negative quality.
That's what
they're-
every old person says about the next generation.
And I would say they're cringe.
you'd
Yeah.
say they're cringe. Okay, I don't know what cringe
That's
means.
their word.
I haven't met any based Zoomers.
Yeah.
I know
They
what
are-
based is because I used to paint minis in the 80s, and back then you just got those plastic flat bases, and then there was this general revitalization of mini creating where you put them on like 2-inch high bases
Oh,
and
so
say
that's what that
those
means.
are based,
Mm.
nicely based minis.
Wow.
Now I understand.
It elevates the aesthetic.
hmm
Dougie, why couldn't you have used that explanation months ago?
You know, look, I'm pretty much the only Zoomer interpreter I know of, so not too many people get them like I do.
Cringe.
It's true that Roland makes a big effort, I've noticed, to like get specific Zoomers and spend alone time with them for hours sometimes, just
Yeah.
learning their language.
Learning things,
Yeah.
teaching things. And now some alphas.
Yeah, I'm not on board with that name.
I think
Wasn't
it's just
it
a
Sigma or
placeholder.
something?
They don't just get to be the alphas. Like
Yeah, I get it.
they're gonna
but,
totally devalue the term. Speaking
Yeah,
as a
but then-
Sigma male.
but Gen Y used to be cool until we realized how shitty they were, and now they're millennials. So it'll change.
Mm.
I'm hopeful. They're going to be alphas, and then everyone's going to be like, whoa, these guys are not alphas. And
Plus, who
we'll
wants
come
to
up
be
with
the betas? You know.
something. Yeah, the betas are going to have a hard
Poor baby
road out.
generation, oh no.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
But by the time that they're actually, like, the betas are actually, like, coming up and, like, doing stuff, we'll be the boomers. And everybody will hate us.
I think I'm already a boomer in most people's kid. Apparently, for everyone past my generation, Gen X doesn't exist. We're just boomers. Just
Yeah,
boomers and
I
millennials.
mean that does seem to be how the discourse goes. Like anyone older than a millennial gets called a boomer.
Yeah.
And if you're like a grumpy millennial, then you're also a boomer.
Yeah, but I'm not complaining because as Gen X, we just don't want to be bothered. So it's actually kind of
Mhm.
cool that everyone ignores us. It's like, leave me the fuck alone.
So you got exactly what you wanted. Team win.
Exactly. Yeah, it's perfect.
In time, you will get all the attention.
I'm convinced we are the greatest generation because we've avoided all responsibility for everything bad. We're just caught some of the positive financial setup of the boomers.
I don't know. I mean, the boomers are able to get away with all their villainy because they have all the resources.
And they just don't give a
like,
fuck.
The Gen Xers are slackers, but they don't have all the boomer shit.
But we're just waiting for them to die.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with Gen Xers. You're just waiting and just like happy not being part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's not like I'm upset by this. This is great.
No. I either want you to be a villain or a hero.
Gen Xers? No, we just
Not
kind of
an
hang out.
observer.
Yeah. No observers. Villain
No,
or
we're
hero.
just,
Pick one.
just on the sidelines, eating a sandwich, betting on both sides.
Get your bowl of popcorn ready.
Yep. And now we're watching the Zoomers come up, beating up on the millennials.
They can try.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the Zoomers doing much of anything. They can't focus for long enough to do anything.
That's legitimately my
Their
only
brains
issue.
have been addled by non-stop
If anything,
dopamine hits.
they're outslacking Gen X, which is kind of annoying.
But they're talking a big game, which makes it even worse.
Yeah, because if you're gonna slack, just be quiet about it.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what comes of them. Or not, because we'll probably all be dead, so.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, all these Duro spiders are going to turn out to be poisonous
Oh shit!
when
It's
they
gonna,
all attack
we're-
at once.
Yeah, we're gonna be all very
Yeah.
comfortable. We'll get used to them, and then boom!
They're going to mate with Black Widows or something.
Yeah.
What the COVID would have been a lot more interesting if instead of like a virus that many people just sort of like disagreed on how potent it was and stuff like that. If instead it was like something viscerally terrifying like flying spiders.
Yeah. Well,
Excellent.
flying spiders was the thing I was not really prepared for. So, but ever since you brought them up, I've been doing some online shopping. I think I'm getting a pretty decent setup here for online
Wait,
Get
flying
like a
spiders.
beekeeper rig.
You weren't prepared for them?
No, I did
Don't
not. I've
worry.
been slacking.
Don't worry, because now you can purchase the late afternoon gaming anti-spider hat.
Laser radar hat.
Late-
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does it come with the lag patch on it? That's what it really needs.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, the deluxe one does.
Probably the way we want to go with this is you've got like 2 shoulder mounted deals, but they go on top of like a plate carrier with like a Molly rig for the battery and the controller and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm searching the extensive late afternoon gaming online store, and I don't see them. Has it not
we
been
moved
posted
everything to the Silk Road.
yet? Oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not because we do anything illegal, just because we thought it gave us more street cred.
Wait, the Silk Road is illegal?
Well,
I mean,
It's not legal.
probably not in Argentina anymore.
but it also goes nicely with their bunker. So,
Well, the thing is, in a bunker, you don't have to worry about flying spiders if you have the right filtration systems in your ventilation system.
Is this Argentina guy? I've heard he's almost objectivist. Is that right?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Okay. I mean,
Wait,
that's exciting.
I mean,
really
when he
know
was
this guy. Tell me
campaigning,
more.
he was like, I think he was like waving a chainsaw around and
Right.
and talking about how he was going to slash all these government programs and stuff like that. So
He actually had a chainsaw?
I
physical
don't know if
chainsaw.
he was like actually revving it or anything, but yeah, he's been extremely vocal about like basically them being out of money and making hardcore cuts. I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm not well informed on it, but he got elected, and as far as I know, he's like followed through on that.
I think it's more fun to talk about when you're only partially informed on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm that's fair.
I mean, it's an objectivist running around with a chainsaw now running the government.
I like to think that I make up for my lack of knowledge with a surplus of confidence.
I'm really expecting kind of a Argentinian Bioshock in the next couple of years.
Mm.
And I'm looking forward to it.
But I suspect we will find that when those spiders come for all of us, Argentina's going to do all right.
Yeah. Because the free market,
Yeah.
while we are trying to put together government programs, they're going to have all kinds of entrepreneurs building.
Adam
Hats.
Smith is going to be taking care of them. The invisible hand is going to be keeping those spiders away.
Okay, unless they go Keynesian, which is the true error of all.
No, I think he's Austrian school.
South American. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is the most based economic
Austrian?
school. Yes.
Austrian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fact. Look it up in the dictionary. If you look up Austrian School of Economics, Webster will tell you the most based.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a good discussion earlier this week with somebody else on the server about the concept of Chesterton's fence, which was I hadn't heard that name of it before, but it's the idea that you shouldn't tear something down, like some sort of institution or, part of the government or, whatever, if you don't understand, like, why it's there, how it came to be there, what effect it'll have if you get rid of it. Which is not to say that you shouldn't make change, it's just that you shouldn't do it until you understand, like, what the impact of that change might be. And it seems like a lot of folks like him who come in with, like, big revolutionary messages of all these things they're going to get rid of. There are probably definitely things worth getting rid of, but I'm not ever confident that they've ever, like, sat down and really thought about, why those things exist or, how they're going to replace the function of that thing or whatever, in the event that it's something that's actually important.
Well, I'll assert this confidently, not actually knowing whether or not it's true. I think the point he's making isn't that some of these things... But I don't think he's saying, we don't want something like this in a lot of cases. I think what he's saying is, we cannot afford this. Like, we're way overextended. You can't have this, not because it's not nice to have, but because you can't pay for it. So it's gone.
In regards to Argentina?
Yeah.
As an aside, I think Chesterton's fence, as applied to morality and religion, is like the defining problem of the 20th and possibly 21st century.
You mean people deferring?
You're saying
to...
getting rid of...
Yes, and leaving nothing behind and not understanding the systems in place and what they were doing.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree that I think that for a lot of the problems that a lot of major religious institutions have, they also serve like very foundational purposes when it comes to like cultural identity and things like that. And so like quick removal of them without not that necessarily those things happen as like a deliberate policy a lot of times, but I think it can certainly change a lot about a society with a lot of like unintended consequences that may not necessarily be healthy.
See, and I'll go the other way and say I think large institutions tend to just get larger and larger, especially governments. Like they just grow and grow and grow and grow, and it tends to be the kind of thing where if a new program gets put into place, it's very difficult to get rid of it. It's much easier to create than to destroy in that regard. And it is like this stuff can get way too big and bloated, and so it can be helpful from time to time for some destructive force to come through and make it way, way smaller, even if there's a lot of short-term pain that comes along with that, because otherwise, like the bloat will get out of control. So I think in many cases, destruction is a healthy thing for in the long term.
Yeah,
I think anything big enough at a society level is going to have like unintended consequences that no matter how prepared you are to do it, it's going to have some kind of outcome that you weren't expecting. And so it's a lose-lose situation.
You guys are not sounding very based right now, is what I'm saying.
I think that that's all fine and rational if that's the way you're going about it. My issue is I think a lot of times people view that destruction as like a unmitigated good, not like a necessary evil for, reduction in the size and, understanding that there's going to be negative consequences. And maybe it's just a presentation thing, but it seems like a lot of people think it's an unmitigated good, and it's just it tends to be the destruction tends to be destructive in more ways than people seem to be willing to admit, which again is not necessarily a bad thing permanently. It's just something you need to actually consider and think about.
Sure. I do. This is a related issue. I do think we've gotten very comfortable with like spending money that's essentially fictional. Like the America's debt is insane. And it seems apparent that we will never actually try to balance the budget in any way.
It's
But-
because of the new economic philosophy.
Well, I mean, I guess what I'm saying though is, if it's okay to take on debt that you never intend to pay back, and whenever you want something, you can just print more money to obtain it, then in some sense, money just isn't real, like, or it has no like real value.
It doesn't. It's like a mass hypnosis.
And that's terrifying. So I do really like the idea of someone saying, no, this is crazy.
But money never did. It was always like a mass hypnosis. The only difference was that by tying it to gold or some other commodity, we limited the supply. That's the only thing.
Sure.
But it was
that's
all
kind
just
of
pieces
that's
of
a
paper.
big deal, though. I mean, at least
Yes.
then, if there's a finite amount,
So you're-
even if it's not backed by something explicit, if just the supply is frozen or something like that, then you can't have you can't just invent more if you want something.
Right. Well, the new economic philosophy does not agree with that. They have decoupled spending from taxation or income, right? Where the new philosophy, starting in the early 2000s, spending can be done on whatever you want. Taxation is not to increase income; it is to punish social things that are not desired, or to encourage social things that are desired, which it always was a little bit, but it was also for income, right? Like the deduction for married people and children is always to encourage growth, right? But
Sure.
the taxation was still for income. But now they've completely decoupled the taxation from desiring income, and they just spend as much as they want.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think that's more true on a national level than a state level.
Yeah, I would say so. Nationally, yeah. I don't know what people are doing state-wise.
Sure. I mean, that's what I'm talking about is federal spending. But
Right.
yeah. Anyway, in the face of a system that seems to make no sense, I appreciate someone who stands up and says that doesn't make sense.
Well, okay. I mean, it doesn't make sense. They have a logic, the people who think this way. I don't agree with that. But it doesn't make sense. There's a logic, but it doesn't make sense, is what I would say.
Sure. What I'm saying is, Late Afternoon Gaming is moving to Argentina. We're moving our headquarters there. We have kind of like we broadcast from a large tanker ship.
Right.
It's like a pirate radio kind of thing. But we're actually we're setting sail.
Yes.
And we're gonna be anchored off of Argentina in a few months. So.
We're
Until we
heading
can get
to-
a bunker in place, and that'll be the new spot in Argentina.
Yeah. Until then, we'll be in the hold of this large tanker.
Good. Okay.
It's funny, but this productive team escaping to the Objectivist Paradise mirrors Ayn Rand's work, Atlas
Yeah,
Shrugged.
Galt's Gulch, I call it.
Right, exactly.
Well, I'm in. Let's go.
So, am I Galt or
No, you're
You're Gulch.
I'm Gulch?
yeah, you're the Gulch. No, you are. I gotta figure out who you are. Maybe Dagny.
Dagny, that
Yeah.
doesn't give up, but doesn't buy in completely.
Yeah.
I want to be Francisco.
Do you think you have what it takes to be Francisco?
I'm pretty sexy,
That's all you need.
so I think so. And I've got
Because
plenty
I see
of-
myself as John Galt.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you just talk endlessly for like 30 pages in a
Yeah.
single monotone.
Come on, it's more than 30.
It's been a while. I don't know.
I'm the other Taggart guy.
Actually, I'm sitting next. Oh no, this is the Fountainhead I have sitting next to me. Not Atlas
I've been
Shrugged.
trying to get Shepard to read The Fountainhead because it's like
It's more accessible.
it's Atlas Shrugged, but less toned down. Like it's crazier than Atlas Shrugged.
Which is impressive because Atlas Shrugged is absolutely bananas.
They're both great reads.
I
They-
loved
they-
it.
they
Like,
are.
I really enjoyed
really-
it, but boy oh boy.
I know there are a lot of people out there that can't enjoy things they disagree with. I do think Atlas Shrugged, for all its faults, is a really good book.
What they both need, and this will never happen, they both need a severe editing. And the problem is, the only editors available are people who absolutely despise Ayn Rand and libertarianism and objectivism. Or,
You know what, though? I kind of don't want it edited because I appreciate how supremely self-indulgent it is. That's like one of the things that makes it great.
and fits the philosophy, sure.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
it
how
is
famous
clearly
would John Galt's
just...
speech be if it had been edited down to only be like 20 pages instead of 50?
Yes. Yeah, because you read it and it's so grand. Like, it's such an insane, wet dream revenge fantasy that I don't think it would be served well by, like, subduing by some editor that's like, well, we could, you've already made this point 18 or 19 times, so I don't know if he needs to make a 50-page speech about it. It's like, no, that's what's fucking awesome about it.
This is ironic because my the second part of the sentence was the only other possible people you could find are people who were so enamored of it that they would cut nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I will say the version that I read also. So this is a recommendation against. I got the $1 version on Kindle that like the Kindle Classics or whatever it is, but it was very clear that they had just done the
one that's formatted by a chimpanzee.
Well, I'm pretty convinced that what they did was scan a PDF and then just do the image to text recognition,
Right.
and then didn't look at it after that, because there were places in the book where there were probably section breaks or something like that, where there just weren't in this book, and then there were also artifacts where it was clear that something was supposed to be an end quote, and instead it's 2 L's or something like that, where it's some early version of text recognition that did a really bad job. So do not get that version of anything.
Well, I think
in particular that book.
Kindle just Amazon said, all right, we have 100 interns this summer. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. All of you guys, go to the public library, get as many books as you can, and we'll give each of you $5 for every book you make a Kindle dollar edition out of. Go. And then you just wind up with this.
Yeah, some uneconomical intern picked the world's longest book.
I like to think
Well, no,
that
because it's just
hang on, wait
it's
a
like,
minute.
hey, just put it in the book scanner, and then fuck it, run spell check once, and then
Done.
make that bad boy a .mobi or whatever.
that happened to me when I was 12, and I got a paper route, and they said you get paid for paper, and I'm like, give me the longest route, and they were like, well, the last guy loaded his minivan with this route, and I'm like, I got a bike, so I pulled it off, but yeah,
Did you have a minivan worth of papers on your back?
It was fucking huge. Yeah, I had a giant bag in front and a giant bag in back, and just it was crazy. And it was one of the most arduous things I've ever done in my life. And I did it for 2 to 3 weeks until I got the route down. And then I was like, man, I accomplished this. I finished the main route that nobody else could handle. And then I fucking quit because fuck that job.
Would you say that that's about when you peaked?
Yeah, that's the peak of my life, I would say.
I like the idea that it took you that long to master the route, and so for 2 weeks, some guy wasn't getting his paper. And then he finally gets it one day where he's like, oh, I guess this kid finally figured out this route. And then you quit and he stops getting his paper again. He's like, man, I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah.
That sounds like perfect 12-year-old logic. Of got it, nailed it. I don't need to keep doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Or Zoomer logic, I guess.
You're just ahead of your time.
Way ahead.
Well, I mean, you
I think
gotta
a more efficient version
secure
of
that
that
bag.
is, you don't need to deliver a paper every day. So what you do is you pick a seventh, or I guess just a seventh of the route, and then you deliver the last week's worth of papers to each of those houses, and then you just do it on a cycle. So you just make sure you have 7 different bags.
Well, of course you're gonna do it on a cycle, man. That's what we're talking about.
No, man.
Yeah.
It's every day.
We're double cycling.
Look, I've delivered mail. I've delivered papers. If you're delivering mail and you're a half hour late, the old people come out of their house and they're waiting for you. What's going on today? Usually I get my mail 27 minutes earlier.
I can see that. Man, where I live, the mail is so inconsistent. And I'm not talking about like, FedEx or something. I'm talking about the actual mail.
Yeah.
Like there's absolutely no telling when it's going to show up here.
Right.
And I don't have a big community. I don't understand what the issue is. It's very strange.
Part of its volume is not, you can't determine volume. It goes up and down. And part of it is we have staffing problems in a lot of places. So you will have the regular who has been on that route for 20 years, and he can knock it down in like 5 hours, the whole route, right? But then on his off day, it's like some newbie who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and it'll take him 12 hours. So it's really kind of variable like that. And if you've got a route that's what they call like a dark route, where nobody is assigned to it, so it's all just temp jobs or like noobs doing it, and it's a different noob every day, it's really variable how that works.
A dark route? I love that name.
It's the name of my next Delta Green scenario.
Yeah, it's perfect. We could work
Dark
this
route.
Dark routes, banana, erection spiders. We can put something together.
Every mailman who's attempted this route has died.
From
an
getting
erection.
bit by an erection.
Yeah.